Welcome to anybody who's in the chat. This is the first episode of the Temple of Elemental Evil using Worlds Without Number. I am running Martin here through it. Should be a fun time. This will probably be like borderline experimental as we figure out this new system that I've only run once before. But I think it should be a good time, and I'm very excited to get started. So why don't we just hop right in? I'm just going to explain some stuff, and then we'll do a little character intro, and then we'll go from there. So, you are currently in the city of Anatol. You saw a job listing pertaining, or a position listing pertaining to an exploration job from a company that you've heard of called Sunnyfields Acquisitions. From what you know, they seem to be a firm that is sort of like a real estate kind of firm, as well as a few other odds and ends that they tend to go down. You haven't looked too much into them, but you have heard of them. And right now you are in the city, in their sort of major headquarters. It's a massive wooden building with a nice stone foundation. It looks like they have pulled out, all the stops on making this look like a very, very nice place. And you are currently waiting in the waiting room for your appointment with a woman named Sarah. So how about, while we're waiting for Sarah to call upon you, how about you tell us a little bit about your character?
So, Griff Sharpeye is a Worlds Without Number expert, and for anyone that's not played Worlds Without Number, that covers a whole plethora of different things. Um, he is basically modelled on a failed bandit. So, Griff doesn't have particularly high strength, but he's got really good dexterity, and he's a real smooth talker. So, he did hang out with a group of bandits, and he wasn't particularly good with a sword. Um, but after a while, he kind of started to use his talents in the right way. And whenever they came across some wandering merchants or some nobility, he would quite often sort of be sent out on his own to distract them and persuade them to maybe stop or do something, while the other bandits would sort of gather around and get ready to pounce. Um, while he was quite successful at doing that, he managed to get himself a valuable place in the group of bandits. He was still quite puny, and unfortunately, that meant that when it came to share the spoils of the raids, he still didn't get much. So he thought, well, stuff this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go it alone. Um, so he had a solo bandit career. Really just preyed on the smaller merchants rather than the whole traveling caravan thing, and maybe some of those braver, richer nobles that went out without any guards. And yeah, he did pretty well. But weirdly enough, he used to approach these people, and they used to say, can you point the way, or can you help me, or I've heard there are bandits on the way." And he took some jobs rather than sort of plundering them. He ended up working for some of them, and so things just sort of grew from there. Really, it was never a conscious decision to turn to the non-criminal side of banditry, but it just sort of happened that way. It was actually easier. Now
That's
that's
great.
Griff.
I love it. I love Griff. That's great. Um, Perfect. Yeah. So with that, you wait a little while longer. Your your appointment was for 9 a.m., but now it's around like 9:15, 9:20. And finally, a woman in a sort of like red semi-formal outfit comes out of a nearby door, and she says, "Griff, are you Griff?
Yeah, Griff, that's me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sarah. Please come to my office. We can discuss the job in there."
Enchanted, Sarah. It's great to meet you.
And she just sort of brings you in. It's a very nice, lavish office. All really nice wood. You got the sort of big chairs, big desk, papers everywhere. She looks a little bit disorganized, but she does look extremely busy. She just points to the seat across from her, and she sits down. And she says, "Oh, well, I'm very excited to talk to you about this new position that we're looking at. I don't know how much you know about Sunny Fields, but we're always looking for new ventures, and we found an exciting new one out east. So just to give you a little background, this might be a lot of information, so if I need to repeat myself, please just let me know, Griff. It's no problem at all. Um,
Right.
she says, Currently, we're always looking for new lands to acquire for great new developments and that sort of thing. And recently, the land surrounding a now destroyed ancient temple to chaos has become much cheaper in in light of recent events. There's been a significant rise in caravan attacks, kidnappings, thievery, and monster sightings have beautifully lowered the real estate value. Of course, she catches herself, Seinfeld's family's heart goes out to all those affected by these tragic events. Um, However, currently the noble family that owns the land rights, is willing to give out deeds to those who can find out the source of these recent hostile activities and snuff them out, as well as selling some of the less useful land for quite cheap. Um, However, Seinfeld's has a bit of a problem. Currently, there is no place to set up a proper base of operations. There are only two settlements in the area, Hamlet and Nulb. And she sort of pulls out a map, and this is the map you see here on Foundry. Um, you can see where the temple is, where the old temple was. You can see where Nulb is and where Hamlet is. I'll try and make sure people on the stream can see it. And she says, so, see, Nulb is not an option due to it being a river pirate haven, quite dangerous. Though more importantly, Sunnyfields does not want to be found associated with such a disreputable place. And we've tried with Hamlet, but unfortunately they're not fond of outsiders, and especially not fond of us for some reason. And all attempts to establish some sort of headquarters there has just been rebuffed by the town council, which is unfortunate. And that's where you come in. There's an old moat house about an hour away from Hamlet that's rumored to have some squatters in it. The job that we're offering is that you clear everything out of that moat house, top to bottom, and report back to us so that we can gather the deed for the building and begin establishing a regional headquarters based out of there. The pay is 200 silver up front to afford supplies and help, and 2,000 silver upon completion of the job. There is no time limit on this, of course, as it's a very big job, and we are busy with many other adventures, so this is not our only thing that we're worried about. And monetary bonuses may be awarded for relevant information found on people, factions, interesting locations, and anything else in the region that might benefit Sunnyfield's acquisitions. As part of your contract, you'll be allowed to keep any valuables you find. However, every night you must record the events of that day in a journal provided to you. Everything you record will be immediately transmitted back to us here. Also, it is in your best interest to not disclose to anybody that you work for Sunnyfield's acquisitions. Any questions?
Right. I mean, you mentioned this moat house and squatters and stuff, and I don't know, 200 silver pieces. It's a fair start, but I'm gonna need to go fairly heavy-handed if well, I don't know. I've heard rumors, you know. So mate, I don't know if you can lift that a little bit. I mean, we're in this for a long-term relationship, and I think maybe a bit more up front, we could maybe get the job done quicker because, as we both know, time is money. The quicker you can establish a base there, the quicker you'll be selling real estate. If you get my drift.
Yes, absolutely. Well, according to your application, and you've made it through the first 8 rounds of the pool, it seems like you are quite the person we're looking for. So Sunnyfields will be willing to bump that up to 280 silver.
280 would be, yeah, that would be just about right. I think a couple of extra Highlands, get the job done super quick, and you could be in business quicker.
Absolutely.
Everyone wins.
No, that sounds very good to me. That sounds fantastic. Are there any other questions that you have for me?
Have you got any more information on these people in the moat house, or?
From what we can tell, they are definitely dangerous and armed. We believe that some of the caravan attacks have been from the squatters there. They seem to be at least brigands, maybe a group of like 5 of them or so. From what we know,
Right.
they seem, from what the ones who have survived have told us, they seem to be armed with both spears and crossbows.
Okay.
But that's about all the information we have on whoever's at the moat house.
I mean, I'm sure you've done your research because you seem like a very bright, intelligent real estate agent, whatever they're called. I was just wondering, do you know if there's anyone got any rewards out if these bandits are done away with? I mean, obviously, you've got your own interests there, but in passing, have you seen whether, I don't know, Omelette are offering any reward for their demise?
Absolutely. We, from what we can tell, we have a few agents that are working in the area currently. A few other freelancers, such as yourself, are there as well. Hamlet does seem to have some bounties out for certain peoples of ill repute, as well
Excellent.
as some monetary rewards for anybody willing to bring evidence of any bands that you've been able to kill and, or rather, capture or kill. Um, though it is said that going too far away from Hamlet is pretty dangerous. So I would say that if you do want to do some extra exploration for us for extra monetary rewards for scouting the area, to watch yourself because there's more than just bandits in those woods and mountains.
Hmm. Well, maybe we can discuss that as a secondary opportunity. I mean, I'm sure you would want me to prove my credentials first, and you know,
Absolutely. Yes, if you complete this job, then there will be many more lucrative jobs and positions, and perhaps even a tenured position here with St. Fields, pension, and all the benefits.
perfect, perfect. Um, I think that's just about it. So we know what we're dealing with. We know if you've got a map.
Yes, she pulls out a map very similar to this one, not quite as nice and colorful, but one that sort of like scratches where Hamlet is, the different roads, where the moat house is, where Nulb is, the river, and she rolls that up for you and puts it in a leather scroll case and hands that to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And here is the notebook that you are to use and write in. And she also, you see her go to sort of a safe in the corner of the room and open it up and count out 280 silver. She puts it in a sack and puts it down the desk in front of you.
That'll be perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, I think that's it. And you say that discretion is important, that it wouldn't be wise to mention that I'm from Sunny Fields.
No, not if you value your life. We had one freelancer who told some people, and he was found with his throat slit the next morning.
Right, I'll be giving that a miss then. And have you got a list of these freelancers, just in case I might sort of knock into them in the field?
Unfortunately, we do not give out either your name or the other names of the freelancers working, as we do believe in friendly competition does get the best results. Though, if you do find any, you are welcome to work with them as much as you want.
Yeah, well, I was just making sure the competition stayed friendly, if you know what I mean, and we didn't get any misunderstandings.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, many of the freelancers, part of their contract, they do not want to be known uh,
Well,
to others.
fair enough then. I mean, if I don't know, do I?
Absolutely, but also they won't know you, which could
Hmm.
be good or bad. But yes, there's many different jobs going on in that area as well as even further east. So perhaps you will get lucky and be a nice one. But just between you and me, so far you seem to be the friendliest of the ones we've hired.
Oh, I bet you say that to all the contractors, don't you?
And she lets out a very what sounds like a rehearsed laugh.
I know where I stand. Right, excellent. Well, as I said, we'll get right on it, and we'll get you some results quickly.
Absolutely, and just so you know, you're welcome to go there on your own time. But tomorrow morning, there is a caravan that's going south of Hamlet that is passing by, and we have arranged to have a seat for you if you want to take that.
That'll be perfect. If I get some people to come along with me, would there be extra spaces?
You might be able to work that out with the merchants. So there might be an extra space or
Sure.
two. They seem it's a pretty big caravan, so I'd be surprised if you found somebody in town. From
Perfect.
what I can tell, both Hamlet and Nulb, though again Nulb is very dangerous, does have many people that you can hire from. So it's up to you
Okay.
what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all
I
the
don't know.
recent
I'm
monster sightings, there's much more activity of people going out looking to slay some creatures and make some money and find some old treasures.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody from the village council might decide to come along with me just out of the goodness of their heart. You never know.
You never know.
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Sarah.
Absolutely, it's been a
I'll be on
pleasure
my way.
talking with you as well, and I look forward to seeing your reports.
Hmm. Every night, you say.
Yes, please, of all the events of that day, as much as you can.
Not a problem. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and so before you leave, she pulls out like several different forms, has you sign them, and you feel like you're signing a lot of the same forms over and over again, but it's just like
Mhm.
several different copies of the same thing. You're noticing there's different stuff talking about how they're not responsible for anything that happens to you, just a bunch of the stuff, and she just has it all in one sort of big binder, and she puts it in one of the other safes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you head out, and you're back out in the city streets. What would you like to do, Martin?
Right. So I'm getting the impression that probably best to pick up hirelings from Hamlet or Nob rather than here. So
Yeah, I mean, you're
yeah.
welcome to look around for hirelings here if you want. The thing is that you might have to pay extra just for the travel
Mm,
to Hamlet, which is a few days away by carriage.
yeah.
Um, and
Griff is
so
not as
yeah, no, go
yeah.
ahead. No, you
Sorry.
go ahead.
Griff is not a stupid man, and he's going to try and I think he's going to try and act the hero in Hamlet, and yeah, try and get hirelings on the cheap. I mean, they're doing it for the benefit of the village after all.
Yeah,
They could be heroes.
you never know what could happen. No, absolutely. You're welcome to buy things in town here if you have anything you want to buy. From what you know about Hamlet and or just towns of that size, if you've let's say you've done any research on it if while you're in the city, most of the stuff you'd be looking for you can find there.
Yeah.
However, maybe some really expensive stuff like good armor or certain implements might take time to get shipped or made, or might be of a higher price just due to materials and that sort of thing. Um, so if you're looking for anything for a cheaper price, it could probably be found here in the city more so than Hamlet.
Yeah. So there's a question. Are there any restrictions on experts wearing better armor?
I actually have no idea, Martin. I'm not
No.
sure about that. That was a good question. I
There
should
we
have
go.
asked. Should have asked Jack.
Yeah. Well, at the minute he's got a buff coat, which is basically it describes it as a long coat of thick, supple hide, sometimes worn to cushion the bite of heavier armor, and sometimes sported as ornamental street clothing. There we go. So I think we can leave him with that to start with, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll look into that. I don't know if there is actually anything. It might just be that it has the penalties towards like maybe some of your skills or something like that. So
Yeah.
it could just be that. But yeah, we'll figure that out. I'll figure that out before next session at least, so we
Yeah.
know.
Now, Griff
Um,
is quite sneaky, and I mean, he's not going to want to walk in there in sort of full battle dress with armor and,
yeah,
heavy crossbows and all the rest of it. So I think he's probably going to do the kind of subtle approach. He's going to build his little party,
yeah,
and this is his plan that he's kind of concocting. Um, yeah, if he needs to, he's not a stupid man, so why not wander in and check out the place, get the lie of the land, and yeah, come back later with reinforcements if he needs them.
absolutely. I will just say, if you are looking for a bit of an AC bonus while still being in light armor, there is one called a War Robe, which is 14
Okay.
AC instead of 12. It's 50 silver pieces, and it is
Wow.
3 encumbrance. So it's a little bit heavier, but it looks like it's like sort of like a big like padded coat with lots of different parts of it.
Yeah.
Obviously that's for Worlds Without Numbers setting, but for this, it'd just probably be just like very sort of thick, kind of lightly armored coat. So if you did want that, you
Yeah.
could probably grab that. But yeah, if you're willing just to head over to Hamlet and see
Yeah.
what awaits you, then we can just do that.
Why
Um,
not?
works for me. So yeah, you sleep in the city for this night, and then the next morning you go and find the caravan. They have a spot for you, like you were promised. You get in the back of one of the carriages, and they start making their way there. You travel for about 3 days. It's a pretty far travel, especially by carriage. This is like very much a very bumpy road all the way here. But finally, you find your way going south on this very long stretch of road, and you see a small village in front of you. Um, it looks like I wouldn't say it's bustling, but right now during the time of day, it's like probably around like 11 a.m., 12, lunchtime. You do see some farmers out in the field. I would say it's probably early summer, and you see farmers out. You see people walking around. You see different livestock, and yeah, the caravan draws closer. It stops into town. The merchant there tells you that you're, you know, their end of the deal is done, and you're welcome to basically go off with all your
Oh,
stuff.
thank you for the safe passage. Glad to see we didn't meet any bandits, but time will
Me
tell.
too. There's we don't we're going further east, and it might not be so nice in those lands.
Remember, I mean, I'm tied up here for a little while, I think, but yeah, if you come back this way and you want someone to help guard the thing, you know, uh, give us a shout.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and well,
Perfect.
enjoy your stay in Hamlet. And after a while,
Will
they
do
sort of
indeed.
get their stuff unloaded and go off. You're now sort of like in the. Oh, I should probably switch to the Village of Hamlet
Cool.
image. So you've come down from the north here. You've crossed over the river, and you're kind of in the middle of town. Um, and you see a bunch of different stuff. You see a bunch of different buildings. You see like a big walled manor. And from what you can tell, the vibe you're getting from everybody around you is not exactly a warm one. Nobody seems to be openly hostile towards you. But you've been through small villages before. And in fact, being a past bandit, you're probably not. You probably reasonably understand why people are not really fond of
Yeah.
new people, especially people like you who are all donned in gear or have lots of stuff. Usually, adventurers and that sort of kind don't tend to bring the greatest of things, especially outsiders. But you do see a tavern there. So far from what you've learned about Hamlet, it's the only tavern. Um, and I named it this because I knew it would piss some people off. But it's called the Beckoning Bench Tavern.
Nice. Just the place to go when you need to sit down on something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
um, it looks like quite a nice big tavern. Honestly, it looks like it's 2 stories. And looks like the perfect place to actually maybe perhaps meet some people if you need to hire people, as well as a place to stay.
Yeah.
Considering it does not seem like the people around here are gonna necessarily welcome you with open arms into their homes.
Cool. So Griff will, I don't know, walk up to the thing and test the door, see if it's open. I mean, it's a village tavern, so I'm sure it's open all hours.
Yeah, it is. Just find the spot for it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. You go in. It's a very nice tavern room. You can see all floors
Ah,
on this image here, but you're sort of in the first one there. You can see to your right are all the different tables. And you also see a man at the bar. Just looks like he's cleaning up glasses and putting stuff away and getting ready for the evening tonight. When most people are here, you see a person here or there in the tavern, but obviously it's very quiet at this time of day.
so Griff will, yeah, so there's what, like another person in there?
There's probably like
Or,
3 other people. Like just like
yeah,
one person's like near the fireplace, another person's like at the table in the corner there, and another person's like at one of the benches.
yeah. So, and none of them look particularly scary or,
No, they look
um,
like mostly
no,
just farmers and that sort of thing.
yeah,
And regular patrons. One guy definitely looks like probably the guy in the corner looks like he's still pretty drunk, either from the night before or if he's kept drinking. Who knows? But the way he's sort of stooping back and forth, he's not looking too
yeah.
sober.
No, good, good. So, Griff will give the barkeep an eye, give him a nod,
Yeah.
and wander up to the bar.
He says, I haven't seen you around here before. It's so you must be new in town. What can I do for you?
Griff, well, I didn't know if we could have a conversation and maybe a nice pint of beer.
Absolutely. He says, yeah, a pint of beer is just a silver piece. Um, but it looks like, which seems a little bit expensive, but when you
Mm,
see the giant, it seems like he says pint. This is probably like maybe like a pint and a half or even 2 pints. It is a big meaty glass that he puts down in front of you. Um, and he says, yeah, well, there's your pint. What would you like to ask me? You seem a little, you seem like there's something on your mind.
I was just coming through. I understand that there's a bandit problem in the area.
Yes, things have been going pretty good for the last few years, but for some reason, the last few months, there's been quite a few more attacks. It's been making prices go up everywhere, just from lack of supplies coming in every once in a while. It's been a real fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, I could see. Is that why the beer's so expensive?
Yes, well, that and also, of course, the fantastic quality of it. And as you're taking a sip, this is very, very average beer. It's not the worst thing you've ever had, but it's definitely not. It's not the top stuff.
Oh, it's a fine brew. You're right. Brewed in the village, is it? Or
Yes, yep, brewed right here, right in Hamlet.
hmm, yeah. What's this one called then?
Um, I haven't thought of a name for it yet, but I should do that. So maybe I can get some more sales if I think of a good name for it.
I was going to say, a snappy name always helps the marketing, I find. But
Hmm.
yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, if you're interested, I do some sort of consultancy. It's not my main line of work, but if you get stuck with naming this thing, I can come up with a nice campaign for you. Some posters, and maybe we can even hire a couple of people to go around, with little taster samples and that kind of thing, and really put it out. But it needs a name. You can't have someone wandering around going, "Yeah, that beer in that place down over there." If I don't know, something like the hobby Homlet or something, or the I don't know. What's your name?
Um, I've been looking for that for a little bit here.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's the layout of some of these older modules are real.
Mm,
I believe it's Osler though. We'll say it for now, unless that's not correct. But he says, well, I'm Osler, and I don't know. For some reason, I like you, Griff. Maybe I will take up on that offer at someday. So far,
yeah,
business is pretty good, so I don't need it too much right now. But who knows? If things get a little bit slow, perhaps I can take some of your expertise. Um,
yeah.
are you looking
Well,
for a room here, by the way?
absolutely. So I had a few things I was trying to work out. One of them is where to stay, and clearly I found the right place. This is a lovely establishment you have here.
Absolutely.
Um, Good drink. I'm sure the food is just as good. How much is a room for the evening?
So, your room. Ooh. Um, we'll say a for a room for the evening is just another 2 silver. But if you reserve a week, it's just 7 silver.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Sounds good. Yeah, and you just put down the coin for the week, or if you do
Yeah.
more than that, it's up to you. But he takes your money. He's like perfect. And he goes behind on the wall. There's a bunch of different keys. He grabs one off and he just says, "You are in room 3."
Room three. Okay.
Yeah, you
Is
can't
that
miss
a
it. It's
nice?
just upstairs.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And the other thing I wanted, obviously we can do food a bit later on. Where in the village might I find equipment, that kind of thing? I mean, I'm mainly here just to sort of find out what's going on. As you can see, I'm not not particularly well loaded with equipment at the minute.
Yeah, no, there's a trader's establishment just here in town. It's hard to miss. Um, you'll see they're open right now. They're usually open during the day. They set everything up. A bunch of different merchants come around, and you can buy pretty much anything you need from the trader's establishment in
Oh,
town.
good, good.
And they should have everything you want for your missions or whatever you're doing around here.
Do you have a tourist map? I mean, I suppose you could get lost quite easily in this village.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, not so much a map, but I can try pointing things out to you if there's any questions you have on,
Okay,
anything.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just if you want to know a few things about the village, we have two religions here: the Old Faith and Saint Cuthbert's faith. Overall, they get along. They've integrated both pretty well. There's a whole history behind that, but I'm not big on the history stuff. But
Me neither.
yeah, so you have druids and you have a bit of the newer faith with some of the a bit of this foreign Saint Cuthbert's come in years and years ago, and yeah, so that's a big thing. You'll have the church. You also have the Elder's house, which he points out the sort of the big stone sort of building. The like it's a building that is totally different from the rest of the village, which are all sort of like more, not I wouldn't say wooden huts, but definitely more, I guess, Spartan like wooden buildings. Um, and he says, 1 second. He says, yeah, the walled manor house. Obviously, there's this fine establishment that's should be your go-to place when you come back.
Of
Church St.
course.
Cuthbert. Um, and he says that's a lot of it. There's also the guard tower. Um,
Oh, odd for a village, isn't it?
well, you see, there's been Homeless has a bit of a violent history, and it's he points out to the I'll put the village of Homeland map back on. Um, he points out to the over here to the right, on this big hill. He says this has helped us in the past, and not that it happens very frequently, but every once in a while, some wild beasts come through and that sort of thing, and they're good at deterring that sort of thing. There's lots of guards there. There's even some old siege equipment up there as well, which is like you said, might seem a bit overkill, but you never know, especially in these
Yeah.
parts. There's some old foul things about. And I mean, that's why you're here, right? For the things going on right now. So you might find
Um,
it thankful one day.
yeah, and that was my next question leading on. So I mean, I'm guessing that the town's got a vested interest in getting these things cleared away, getting whatever, these bandits out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody on the town council that might be sort of willing to lend a hand or might know somebody that, wants to prove themselves in battle, that kind of thing?
So, um, sorry, Marn.
That's okay.
So much information put all over the different places. Um, he
Good
does
opportunity
say
to drink tea.
he does say that there are sorry, 1 second. I'll just find it real quick here. Where was it? My gosh, information's just all over the place. Um, he does say that there is Rufus, who is on the town council. He is, I believe, the town guard or the captain of the guard here. And they are looking at potentially, it's not totally clear just yet, giving rewards for evidence of bandit heads and that sort of thing, if you bring back any heads of them. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to prove what's a bandit and what's somebody you might have just killed yourself. So they're not totally clear on that, but they have been thinking of ways to reward adventurers in the area who have been able to sort of, quell some things. So if there's any way you can kill any bandits and also find a way to bring back evidence, you can be rewarded by that by the town council.
Sounds good. And where is this Rufus?
Rufus can usually be found.
Is it like a town hall here or something?
He's often actually in that guard tower. Or
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, as well as Rufus we found there, as well as Burn, who's sort of the, I guess, the town wizard, I guess is probably the best way to put him.
You got your own wizard. That's pretty flash.
Yeah, no, he's been absolutely fantastic help and pillar of the community for us. And though Byrne does not tend to come by as much, he tends to stay in the tower a lot more and deal with business. He's a bit more of a serious man, but Rufus,
Yeah.
you can catch him here at the tavern, often many nights. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, wizards are a bit of a strange folk, aren't they? You keeping themselves to themselves. You don't know what they're getting
yeah,
up to.
you're telling me, yeah, no, that
I
Byrne
didn't
is
tell him I
an
said that.
interesting one. Yeah, no, don't worry, I didn't hear anything.
Best way. Well, okay. So, I'm going to finish my beer here, I think, and then I'm going to go and I don't know, maybe step over to the guard tower there, and maybe I don't know, maybe I can find Rufus.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. And if you are looking for people to hire as well, oftentimes there's many people. He points to like there's like a notice board outside. There's many people who come by here, this tavern, looking for work and that sort of thing, and put up their names on the notice board. So you might be able to find them during the evening pretty easily if you want to hire some people. Um,
Yeah, seems reasonable to me.
yeah.
Well, thank you for your help, Wassler. And there's nothing else you think would be useful that you might have heard of that I'm not a rich man, you understand, but I've known to be generous.
Sorry, can you repeat that again, Martin?
I'm not a rich man, but I've known to be generous. So, if any information you've got that you think might help
Hmm.
me, I'd like to
Absolutely.
evaluate it.
Yes. No. If I think of anything that might be a benefit to you, I'll absolutely let you know. Right now, I'm drawing a blank on anything, though I will say I think there is one guy in town actually. Now that you mention it, who might be willing to help you out if you're going out at all. He's a I'll say this: he likes to play a bit of the drunkard, but he's much better at fighting than he first appears. His name's Elmo. Um, you can usually find him by the tavern here pretty much every night.
Right.
And he's willing to go out with adventurers to certain dangerous areas. Though from what I can tell, he does ask for a decent portion of whatever rewards are found.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, good to know. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Um, and yeah, and that's basically all he says for that.
Cool. So Griff will just take his huge jug of beer or whatever it is and head over to a table. Um, he's guessing that the people there at the minute are probably like the furniture and they're always there.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's just going to drink this on his own and just see if anyone's interested in him and wanders over, or if anyone comes in that might be of interest. So
Yeah.
probably not, but he's gonna see what happens.
No, sounds good. Yeah. So I would say so. You're there for a little while, probably about half an hour. And probably in around 30 minutes or so. You're almost like finishing up your beer, maybe your second beer or something like that. You see a younger man walks in, probably about like maybe 18 or 19. Um, and he walks up to you and he says, I noticed the caravan came in and they've left, but you're still here. May I ask what you're doing in Hamlet?
Yeah, I understand you've got a bandit problem here. Old Ostler over there was telling me that it's driving prices up in the village, and yeah, not good.
Oh, well, I'm actually looking for work. I don't
Ah,
know if you're looking for any local people around. Um,
absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure I'd describe it as work, but I mean, I'm sure the town council would be incredibly grateful for any help in apprehending these bandits. I understand that, if you were to work with somebody experienced, there would be a reward for the return of bandit heads and other bandit evidence. And I like to provide these opportunities, and if it's to the local community, so much the better.
I love that. You've definitely worked in the corporate world, Martin. um, he asks if he can sit down, and he says, "So if I could join you, that'd be great. I won't charge very much. I have my own spear, my own gear. I'm not very experienced, but I can hold my own in a fight. I've you know,
Oh, that's good. And how much should you sort of thinking of charging?
So he says, well, due to my lack of experience, the general amount people here charge for man at arms work is 10 silver a day. So I'll only ask for 5 silver a day if that works for you.
Right, okay. But you say you're not very experienced.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was a fair price considering for more
Yeah.
experienced and
Okay.
fighters, it's 10 silver. I thought maybe half would be good, and if I prove myself, maybe I can get more.
Well, okay. Let's just say, what is your name? Sorry,
It's Alan.
Alan. Okay, Alan. Um, let me. Oh, we got interviews coming up, so I'll thank you very much. I'll stick your name in there, and you hang around the tavern quite a bit, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're
I
here at the
just
minute.
I'm usually working with my family, but I just came by to see you once I saw the caravan came in. Um, I was hoping to get to you first before other people might ask around or you hire other
Yeah.
people. Like I said, you can count on me if you do hire me. I'll do my best. I'll work hard.
Well, that's good to know, Alan. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Griff's probably feeling slightly guilty here. He doesn't want to take this poor lad out and get him killed.
uh,
Um,
he says, "Yeah, and I'll be back here this evening. And yeah. So if that's all, I'll leave you to it. I won't bother you anymore, sir.
well, I will see you later on then, Alan. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. What'd you say your name was? I didn't get
Griff.
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 Okay, nice to meet you, Griff. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. And he sort of gets up and like walks out the tavern. And outside of that, it seems pretty quiet. It seems like everybody's working in the fields right now and pretty busy or off doing other
Yeah.
things. And yeah, you finish off your drink. And what do you want to do, Martin?
So what's on the notice board? I think Griff will head outside and have a
Yeah.
catch up on what's going on.
So you go to the notice board, and there's like a bunch of stuff on there. Some are obviously very old, some are newer. Some is just sort of local gossip. Some is accusing a certain farmer of like stealing pumpkins and that sort of thing. And another person putting a note saying they didn't steal the pumpkins. And that's some nice little village gossip. Though
Yeah.
you also see it looks like a notice there for different people looking for work. As Sarah mentioned earlier, with the rise in current events, it seems like more adventures have come into the town and through this area, and there's locals who are looking to be hired on. And it seems like for the most part, a lot of it sort of says like you can usually find them at the tavern in the evening, looking around. Some of them are at the guard tower, some of them are at the trading post. It says there's a few people here and there. It's not a huge number of people, but it does seem like, from what you can tell, there is an uptick in population in the region from what you would normally expect of a village of this
Yeah.
size.
No, sounds good. So, well, with that in mind, he's going to head on over to the guard tower and see if he can see anyone that's hanging out there.
Okay, sounds good.
And
Um,
Rufus.
yeah, so you head all the way over to the guard tower. You sort of go on a nice little trot. You notice as you're walking through town, a lot of people are staring at you. Some are like closing the door a little bit or just not really approaching you. You see a few people here who seem obviously a little bit friendlier. Some give you like a small wave and that sort of thing. But overall, the vibe you get is just kind of very much keeping to their own business kind of thing away from you. Um,
Yeah.
and you head towards the guard tower and make your way up through the pretty steep hills. Um, and at the guard tower, there are two guards in full armor with spears. They say, "State your business."
Oh, good afternoon. I'm Griff. I'm here to see Rufus.
Here you see Rufus. He looks over to the other one. They sort of just mutter to each other, and one goes inside the tower. And you're waiting there sort of awkwardly for about 10, 15 minutes, both of you sort of just staring at each other, until finally the guard comes back out and says, "Come on in."
Thank you
And
very much.
yeah, and he sort of just leads you up the tower, and leads you to a room. This was another sort of office, obviously very much not as nice as the office of Sarah's.
Mm.
And he just says, "Sit.
Don't mind if I do.
What do you want?"
I understand you have a bandit problem in the village. Well, not in the village, but around the village, driving prices up, unhappy villagers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's
Hmm.
been a big rise, and like so, sort of looking at Rufus here. This is a very like big man. Looks like there's not an ounce of fat on him. He sort of has like kind of like a shaggy sort of mullet. It looks like he cuts his own hair. And he says, "Yeah, we have a bit of a bandit problem around here. Been lots of attacks. Well, are you here to do something about it?"
Yeah, I mean, merchants talk and all that sort of stuff. I was wondering if I could lend a hand.
Well, I mean, you're not from here, so I can't trust you, obviously, but I'm sure that's nothing new to you if you're somebody who wanders around a lot. Obviously, there are men in town who are for hire. A few of my guards around here who are sitting around doing nothing. He sort of yells out towards like one of the rooms full of guards that are just there sitting down. Are looking for work, and usual fare for ones who are fighting is 10 silver. And if you have ones that you just want as torchbearers and basically pack mules, they are 2 silver a day of adventuring. Um,
Okay.
they will come
Um,
with their own gear. Obviously, the ones who don't fight aren't really under my control. That's people in the village who might just be looking for work. Shouldn't be too hard to find for, you know, some dumb young fools.
well, indeed. I didn't know if what would the bandits causing the village an issue and unrest and higher prices and all that stuff that normally happens with a bandit. Whether you'd be able to sort of provide guards from the militia on village time, as it were.
Hmm. Unfortunately, I don't know what your abilities are. I don't know if you're just gonna get them killed. I don't know if you're actually gonna do anything or walk around. I can't do that at this point. You prove yourself. You show that you're obviously actually trying to help us out here, and maybe I can work something out and maybe even fund you a little bit for your trouble. But
Well,
as of
that's
right
good to
now,
know.
you can put some money into the village or you can get out.
Well, understood, understood. Well, I mean, I'm staying at the beckoning bench, and
Mm-hmm.
so already contributing towards the economy. Osler, very nice man, very helpful chap. I was wondering though if, I mean, I wouldn't. I, I'm a fairly intelligent chap. Wouldn't normally go in all guns blazing and that. So I would sort of plan initially on doing some reconnaissance, and I'd be happy to share the results with you. And perhaps on the basis of that, we could build some trust together. How about that?
Yeah, but I would be fine with that. You'll have to forgive my, I guess, rude manner. There's been enough of you guys coming through here telling me what you're gonna do and all that, and most of you guys come back dead. If you come back at all, that is. And
Well, that's fine. So I'll go out. I'll come back with a plan, and you can review it, make sure you're happy with it, and then perhaps we can come to an arrangement with how we can sort of resource that plan. How about that?
yeah, well, that works for me. If you can actually, hold up that your end of the bargain here, I'd be
Well, and if
very
I
happy
come
to work
back
with you.
dead,
Yeah.
no problem, eh? So yeah, perfect. We got a deal then. And he holds his hand out.
Yeah, he holds his hand out. He just gets up and shakes your hand. It's a very meaty grip. Very much stares at you, doing the whole very macho thing of just like, yeah, um, and yeah, and then let's go. It says you want to hire these men. There's a few here that will be willing to go out with you.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I might, you know,
Get an idea
I
first.
always, yeah, get an idea first, scout the place out, have a look and see what's going on, not get too involved, and then come back with a plan. I mean, as you say, I wouldn't want to get anybody killed. So forewarned is forearmed, and all the rest of that.
Yeah, absolutely. If that's your attitude, then I think we'll have a good business relationship here, since you seem to care a little bit more than most people who come through here. But I
Oh,
will say,
absolutely.
leaving the village alone is very dangerous, and you are taking your life into your own hands. So
I
do
mean,
be
do
aware of
you
that.
have anybody that's particularly stealthy that could, do reconnaissance rather than clattering around in a big suit of armor?
Hmm. Uh, maybe a few of them. Yeah. There's one guy, Bari. He he's a hunter. Now he's sort of working for us, sort of part time. Um, he might be able to work with you and stealth along with you. He's pretty good with a bow. Um,
Yeah,
and he
that's the kind of
mostly,
guy.
unfortunately, he's been found out of uniform a lot of the time. But in this case, it might actually help you since he's not going to be working for us, and he likes to usually don darker clothes. You can usually find him around here somewhere, um, if he's not off hunting.
Yeah.
That is.
No, sounds good. And he's not hunting the village livestock or anything, is he?
No, no, he's
No, no, no. Good, good.
no, he's out getting game. But like everybody else, you can probably find him in the beckoning bench this evening or whenever. Or I can send somebody out to try and find him, but he shouldn't be too far off.
Oh, I'm sure I can catch up with him later. I wouldn't want to appear to be too keen.
Absolutely. Well, I will also say, depending on how fast you are, it wouldn't be the worst thing to possibly buy a horse if you're leaving the town. If you need to get out of a spot quickly, if you can afford it, that is.
Oh yes, I mean, I definitely do a job properly, and where can I get livestock?
The trader outpost should have some
Ah,
horses there, perhaps, or at least they might not have anything grandiose, but they can get at least try maybe find somebody who does if they don't have any horses for sale right now.
what's the name of the traders there?
Ooh, there's a few of them.
The one with the horse.
Let's see. Mm, let's see here. There's a few different people. Um,
Oh, it's not one organization. It's lots of different people all trading in
there's a
the
few
same
different
area.
people there, but
Oh, I see.
I can't. I wish they would put their names right where they are. That would make my life a lot easier. Um, but we'll say there's a man there named Rowan who sells horses.
Rowan. So, and you get on all right with Rowan, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know him all that well. I mean, I don't. I'm mostly busy with my work here and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, he seems fine from what I can tell. He
Okay.
sells horses and all the tack and stuff you would need with that.
Well, that's good to know. Uh, and do you know if your hunter friend has got his own horse?
No, he definitely does not.
Right.
He's not buying a horse with the amount of money he makes.
Do you know if Rowan rents these things? A
He
horse
might.
by the day?
I don't know if he'd rent it to you. Not until, like I said, not to be too offensive to you, but again, you're an unknown quantity here, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he knows I'm going with a hunter, then maybe
yeah,
he'd
he
rent
might
rent.
lend one out if you take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay. We're coming. Yeah, we're building a plan here. This is it's coming together. Well, thank you very much for your time there, Rufus. And as I say, thank you for the tip on the people.
of
Um,
course. Yep, not a problem.
I'll be at the tavern later and see if I can do some recruitment and have a chat with Rowan, see if I can get me a horse, and we'll do some recon and I'll report back to you.
Sounds good. I'll let some people know that you're looking for workers.
Hmm.
They'll
Yeah.
come looking for you in the tavern.
Much obliged.
All right. Anything else?
Um, no, I think that's everything. Unless there's anything that you've heard about these bandits that you think might help.
Um, I heard one's really a really good shot with a crossbow, but
Well,
that's about all I heard.
hmm,
So
useful information.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much that's helpful in terms of dodging the shot, but I do know keep your eye out for anybody pulling out crossbows on you. Things might turn ugly fast.
Yeah. And they're good weapons, crossbows, but okay, right. Well, I'll be off to the trading post. Thank you very much for your help.
Yep, and he just gives you a nod, and you're escorted out by the guard out of the tower. Yeah, and so you're heading to the trading post now.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so yeah, you head to the trading post, and there's a bunch of different things on sale there. Like I said, there's everything from like armor and helmets, food, lighting equipment, just everything. But one thing you can tell, it does look like most of the stuff seems to be a little bit more heavily priced. When
Uh,
you talk to them, it seems like the prices for other things, for other villagers going in, like one person goes to buy like a lamp or something like that, and it's like a silver piece, and then they look to you and it's two silver pieces and that sort of thing. But I'll just see here the prices of some stuff. Um, ooh, those are expensive. So, um, for like a horse, but yeah, your budget here, Martin. For a horse here, looks like it's about 225 silver pieces
ouch.
for a riding horse. He does say, however, that if you do want to rent it, um, he will do it for a deposit of 50 and a price of 30. So you have to pay 30 and you'll get 50, and you also like so pay 80 and you'll get 50 back if you actually, return the horse.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. So,
Um,
Griff's going to try and do a good deal, and well, I mean, you came highly recommended from Rufus. He said you'd do me a deal, you know, like I was a villager.
God damn it! People talk too much around these parts. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know you, and I'm giving you a pretty good deal just alone. I listen. Most adventures I don't even rent at all because I don't like the look of them. You seem to be of a bit of a I don't know cut from a little bit of a bare cloth. So I'll allow the rented price, but I believe 80 silver is fair, and you'll get 50 back if you actually bring the horse back. And
Well, okay then, but maybe this can be the start of a relationship, and if I need to come back again, then maybe we
yeah,
can do a better deal.
yeah, I think that's fair. But yeah,
Well, so he'll take the horse for the 80 silver pieces.
yep, sounds good. And he
It's
takes it.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah, and like the horse you get is very much a you've seen a lot better horses in your time. You've stolen much better horses in your time, probably. This one I wouldn't say is skin and bones, but it's not far off. It's a little bit long in the tooth, and yeah, it's probably got another good year or two left in it before it's turned into glue, um,
Mm,
or served with a beckoning bench.
yes.
But yeah, no. So he takes your money and gives you that.
And he, whereabouts are these bandits then? Do you is it merchants from the north, merchants from the south? Oh,
Honestly, they've been seen across lots of parts of the region, but from I'm assuming you're asking Rowan here, the or
yeah,
like
yeah,
as well
yeah.
the merchants. He says, well, from what we can gather, at least from what I've heard, there's a lot probably. Well, Nulb is full of just sons of bitches and terrible, terrible pirates and bandits. So obviously that area is always being ravaged by ne'er do wells. But lately it's just been down here, down south, down in this area. So we think that moat house is where a lot of them coming from, as well as many are probably camping out in the woods, um, counting all their nice coins they've grabbed off of merchants.
Right. Have you been done over yet?
A few times.
Oh,
Thankfully, I tend to when I don't move around too much. I tend to just have stuff shipped to me. But when I do go out, I usually bring some very good guards with me, and that tends to at least,
mm,
if it doesn't deter them, then the blades and bows definitely put them down for good. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, when I'm done here, if you kind of need my services in that regard, I'd be more than happy to help you.
yeah, maybe you look like you know your way around a weapon. Maybe I will if I'm ever looking
It's not
for more guys.
not all about the steel. Sometimes you can, like you might trade goods. Sometimes you can do a deal with these guys and, work something out.
I don't know. You haven't met the bants around these parts yet. What'd you say your name was?
Griff.
Yeah, yeah. You'll see Griff. Some of these guys are not exactly I don't know. Supposed to put it not exactly the human type all the time. A lot of them tend to be a little bit more savage than that. Lots of monsters around these parts that are also fond of attacking us. It's not just bandits. So
Okay. And what sort of monsters are you referring to?
few different ones. You see, we got these big hairy creatures on two legs who come out with axes and bows, and there's a few other
Mm-hmm.
creatures with mottled purple and whitish pink skin. Lots of different things that come out of the woods here. So a lot of them
Right.
you can't even speak with at all, especially once they start attacking before you even know they're there.
Interesting bunch.
Yeah, not ones I would like to meet again. I'll say that much.
No, no. Um, they mainly got two legs, two arms.
Yeah, for the most part. Some merchants say they've seen ones with six arms and that sort of thing. Some say there's massive creatures the size of a building that have come out of the woods. I don't know how true those are. People get scared and try to really
Yeah.
liven up their stories a little bit. But I do think that whatever that moat house, whatever they're doing in there, I think it's coming from there. That I don't know if you know this, but that moat house used to be a bit of a forward operating base for the old temple up north. Used to be a little detachment of their forces before they were done in about, I think it was like half a century ago now.
Oh, well, I mean, that's enough for anything to clear up, surely.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think there might be some evil energies there, maybe bringing something out. So I'd be
All right.
careful.
Well, thank you for the tip, Rowan. I'll bring your horse back tomorrow and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you. Have a good one.
So I don't really know how the kind of magic item economy works
Mhm.
in Worlds Without Numbers, but would it be possible to buy healing potions, or is that not really a thing?
You'd be able to buy healing potions, probably from the church. I would also say
Okay.
though that you would probably know they're pretty expensive. So
Yeah.
you would be able to. But yeah, so you'll know they'll. I'll probably look for the prices of them. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's not a problem. Because this is sort of an older thing, and we're also doing sort of like a weird kind of conversion.
Yeah.
Magic items can be sold, as well as possibly bought. Though again, because you're in a small town, finding magic items is
Yeah.
pretty tough. Um,
It depends on which flavor of OSR game. I know some of them you'd
exactly.
never get. Yeah, never get
Yeah.
a magic item for love nor money, and others they're
Yeah.
a little bit more available.
Yeah, for this, apparently, even if you get magic items and you sell them, you'll get the silver amount, but not the XP for it. From what it seems like,
Yeah.
the XP version I'm using is based off of. So
Okay.
they're still good, but it is one of those things where it's like you are selling them to get the silver amount, not the. But everything
Yeah.
else, gems and jewels and that sort of thing. Well, if you sold those, you do get the silver and XP
Cool.
for doing that.
Okay.
Um, let's see here, because those are services, magical healing. Hmm. And a lot of this is probably subject to change, just because
Yeah.
we'll figure out what works and what doesn't. Because, like I said, this is borderline experimental. Um, but yeah, I'll say that you can probably find some perhaps healing potions from either the wizard.
Hmm.
Is it Burn? Yeah, either the wizard Burn over at the thingy at the guard tower, or from the church. There's the head cleric there who might be able to sell you something.
Yeah.
Trying to see how much scrolls might be too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just sort of interested in. I don't know. I'm not asking you for a price, but a rough idea. I mean, if he, I
Yeah,
guess he'd
I'm
know what
gonna.
they were.
I'll say right now, just because you're gonna be gaining lots of cash as you adventure, I'm gonna say right now probably healing potion will be maybe, let's say 50 silver pieces. Um,
Okay.
that might go down or up depending on where things go and once I find out. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at this now, and so like magical curing of a disease is 500 silver pieces. Um,
Hmm.
magical healing of wounds is 10 silver pieces per hit point. So I
Okay.
feel like 50 silver pieces for a bottle that does like, I don't know, a D4
Five-ish.
healing or so. The thing to,
Yeah.
I guess one thing too though with this is that the healing isn't too hard to come by in rules of that number in terms of like just being able to heal yourself. Though that doesn't count as
Okay.
magical healing because one thing about that is that if you do get any sort of magical healing, your frail thing is gone. Like you know the frail,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you get anything at all, a scroll magical healing or a cleric does magical healing on you, then your frailty thing goes off. And frailty is like when you go down. If you get back up and you get hit again and go down, you're dead. So
Yeah.
I think 50 silver pieces right now is good. I think that's a fair price. And they're
Yeah.
probably in
No,
short supply. So
I was going to say if you were going to say they were like 1,000, then obviously it's not even worth having a conversation because
yeah,
you just can't afford them. So yeah.
like I said, that might go up. I would say if you go to the church and sort of see that, like you see everything there, big sort of to do thing. It's a massive, massive building. Um, I would say that he might have like two or three in stock. There probably aren't very many. They're just sort of laying around.
Oh, I think Griff would only be interested in one of them just in case,
Yeah,
rather than yeah.
sounds good. Yeah, so you go over there, and you meet the church head. Um, I really should have just run down a cheat sheet of everybody in town because I'm having trouble finding everybody. We'll just call him the chief priest. Um, and yeah, he says he sort of pulls out like this nice one box, and there's like three vials in there, and he pulls out one of the three vials. It has just sort of this very like almost bioluminescent red liquid in it. and hands it over to you and takes your money. And he says, I must ask you, do you follow any faiths at all, or?
Well, I follow the what I call the faith of good conscience. I'm always trying to do the right thing for the right people.
Hmm. Well, that seems like a very noble goal. Just in case you're wondering, you're welcome to come to our processions here in Hamlet. I know perhaps this place isn't always the most welcoming, at least at first, but trust me, that changes when people get to know you. Um,
Right. I was going to ask somebody about that. There are a lot of closing doors, people looking away. Um,
well, you listen. And he sort of pulls you kind of away from where some other people in the church kind of just praying to. It seems there's rumors of it's best way to put this, evil entities surrounding Hamlet. That perhaps it's coming from Nolb up north with all those vagrants and criminals. But to me, it seems something darker. There's I can't quite put my finger on it. Nothing too bad's happened in the town. We've had a few things here and there, but nothing like ritualistic slaughter or anything like that. Nothing's quite so dramatic. But I don't know. It just there's something not quite right in Hamlet lately, and
hmm,
many of the villagers think it's from all the adventurers coming through. Personally, I don't think that's quite it, though. Adventurers do bring their own problems to Hamlet, so they're not exactly helping all the time.
right. Okay, I understand. So if I was to bring something back and well, dead, of course, it's likely to lift people's spirits. Is that what you're saying?
Perhaps, or perhaps you might, embolden some of these forces that I believe to be growing, in this area.
Right. So understand. So the villagers might not appreciate being reminded of what's out there.
Well, there was a few months ago. There was one adventurer who came back with I don't know, the slaughtered head of some big hairy creature. About 2 days later, he was found ripped apart in his bed over in the beckoning bench.
Okay. Well, I'd say that was pretty unwelcome, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's yeah. So, like I said, be careful on who you cross because they might not take it so well.
No, I mean, as I say, I'm working with the best of intentions here. I'm trying to, help the village. Yes, in return for some silver, but ultimately we've got the same goals here. I'm trying to get rid of these things for you.
I'm very glad to hear that, and of course, I offer healing services and other things that you might need if you get hurt in your adventures. Um, so please don't hesitate. I do charge, of course. Yeah, but all you should know, all proceeds go to the church and helping out the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, by healing me, you would be helping the community as well, because that would enable me to go back out again and continue my work, my mission, you could call it.
Of course. Well, I hope to see you around, and I wish you luck on your journey.
Well,
Is there
if
anything else you want to know about Hamlet or anything like that?
well, only things that you think might be important. If there's anything in particular you think might be good for me to know,
Hmm.
I'll happily receive your advice.
Hmm. Let's see. Is there anything that he would think of? He says, right now I can't think of anything, but I'm sure something might come to mind, and if it does, I'll be sure to find you and let you know if I notice anything or think of anything that might be of use to you.
Well, I'm staying in the Tavern of the Beckoning Bench, so if anything does pop up, then feel free to pop over and we can have a conversation.
Perfect. Yes, it's thankfully it's not too hard to find anybody in this town if you need to.
Hmm. Well, good to meet you, man with no name, and I will.
Yes. Yeah, first name Chief, second name Priest. It was just destiny. Yeah, no. Yeah, but yeah, no, he just bids you farewell and goes back to his work in the church.
Cool. So, what time is it now?
By now, probably it's been probably a couple hours, so I'd say it's probably late afternoon, early evening. You're starting to see the sun is starting to probably
Hmm.
go down at this point. Actually, it's summer, so it's still staying up, but it looks like people have gotten their work done for the day. You're starting to see some people still finishing up the fields. Others are putting their livestock back into their pens and that sort of thing. And almost together, you're seeing a big congregation of people going towards back to the tavern. You're hearing music coming from it. And lights and torches in the street are starting to be lit and turned on. And it's yeah, it seems like people are sort of heading back into the town for the night.
Cool. So, Griff will definitely head back.
Sounds good. Yep. So you head back,
He's
and
gonna.
like I said, the Beckoning Bench is a very, very different place than when you were there earlier. There's people everywhere. Uh, what's his name? Ossel, I think his name was.
Osler.
Osler, yeah.
Osler, was
Osler
it? Yeah.
is pouring up drinks for different people, going back and forth. You see there's two different barmaids going to tables and dropping stuff off. And it's just a very, very nice sort of atmosphere here. You do see nobody's really noticing you at this point. You are noticing that it seems like you aren't the only kind of adventurer type in here. There's a few other people who have sort of their sword and sheath just sort of like resting against the wall, or other people are
Hmm.
taking off their armor and bringing it upstairs to their room and that sort of thing. Um, it seems like at least right now, a lot of people are just sort of ignoring anything that they might, otherwise not enjoy during the day.
So I think Griff will walk back up to Osler, wait for his turn at the bar, and sort of greet him as if he's known him for all of his life,
Yeah,
just for the benefit of the people around.
yeah. Yeah, and Osler's like, "Oh, it's you again," and he sort of grabs another big jug for you and says, "I'm assuming you want another beer."
Oh, absolutely, and man, one for yourself as well. And he slips two silver pieces over the counter.
And he says, "I knew I liked you," and he pulls himself one and just sort of pours it up for himself. And he says, "Yeah, do you any luck finding some people?"
Well, everybody said that this was the place to be, so I've come back, and I'm assured that there will be no shortage of help here later on.
Not at all. He says he sort of points to the back, sort of like in the area here where a few different tables. He says there's a few men over there, some village farm hands and that sort of thing, and also some off-duty militia. They're always looking for work. Um, and
There was a hunter that Rufus mentioned. I don't suppose you know where he was. I've forgotten his name.
oh, Bari.
Barry, that's right.
Yeah. No, he points towards the fireplace. You see sort of a man, kind of like in a very skinny man, lean man. He has sort of dark green clothes on. He says, yeah. He points to him. He's like, yeah, Bari's just over there.
Ah, perfect. Right. Well, enjoy your beer. I'll enjoy mine, and I'll be back for some food later on.
Absolutely. Enjoy. Yep.
And he heads on over to the fireplace.
Sounds good. The guy near the fireplace looks over towards you and he says, yeah. He
Barry?
just sort of gives you a little nod.
Griff. Pleasure to meet you. He holds his hand out.
He says, Bari, what can I do for you?
I was having a conversation with Rufus earlier on today, and he explained that you're looking for work.
Yeah, I know these lands pretty well, so I'm usually a
Uh,
pretty good person to have around.
that's good. You're fairly quick.
Yeah, I'm quick. I will say, like, I'm not exactly the best fighter around, but I know my way around a bow, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty fast on my feet. Um,
And I'm kind of looking for someone that's a bit stealthier than your average sword wielding, chainmail wearing, type. Can you hide?
yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very good at hiding. I usually know, which way is upwind and downwind, that sort of thing. So I'm pretty good at masking my scent and that sort of stuff, and getting behind cover
Hmm.
pretty well. I've had lots of natural training with that sort of stuff. No, I'm. If you need somebody to sneak through the woods with you, I'm your man.
So light-footed, not going to break any twigs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And what's your rate?
My rate, well, it depends on what we're doing. If we're just going through the woods around these parts, 10 silver pieces. If you're bringing me to a fight, um,
No, 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 no.
might be a bit
So
bit
I'm
more.
I'm looking for somebody who's a good pair of eyes or a good second pair of eyes, along with mine. Just looking to scope the place out, not looking to start anything, you
Yep.
know, from a distance kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think yeah, 10 silver pieces is that then what we're doing. If we're not, if we get into a fight, it happens. But if we're not, if you're not bringing me straight to somewhere where we're gonna be, getting into some sort of scuffle, then yeah, 10 silver is
Well,
fine for per
not
day. By the
planning
way,
on it.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, of
yeah.
course, yeah, per day, yeah. Well, look, I mean, if we're not getting into a fight, could I talk you down to 8 with a promise of maybe more work later on? Just to, like a
Hmm.
consider it a trial, just for a day on the 8.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess
Was
I can do that. If you buy me a beer right now.
That sounds like 9, but okay, you got a deal.
But yeah, no,
Let's see, let's
he
see.
agrees to that. Um, and gets yeah, he just he gets a beer off you and says so where are we going?
Well, what have you heard about the moat house?
His eyes kind of widen there a little bit. He's like, oh, you want to go to the moat house? Should have negotiated for more. Um, well,
Well, we're
I
not
know
going in. We're just
there's. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
looking at it from the outside. We're not going
Yeah.
in. You'll be fine.
Okay. I know there's some creatures around there. Some wildlife. I think I saw a giant lizard rests in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but other than that, I know there's some brigands that have holed up there. But yeah, outside of that, I haven't. I usually steer clear from that place these days. You know, I
Yeah.
don't like the I don't like that area. It's a bit too dangerous.
When you mentioned this lizard, I mean, how did you see that? Did you go into the moat house, or is this something you've heard about, or?
No, I saw with my own eyes. Like I said, I don't go there very often, especially after I saw that lizard.
Hmm.
No, I saw it sort of. I saw it on the outside in the moat, coming out and crawling back in. Once I saw that when I was hunting a deer, I decided, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore, and I
Fair
left.
enough.
Yeah, it's probably the size of a horse, a very squat horse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then do you know what they eat? I mean, do they eat deer?
Yeah, they eat whatever they can get their hands on, or I guess their claws on. Um,
Hmm. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
yeah. Um,
Not this time. We're just looking this time,
yeah.
but maybe next time we can,
Yes,
deer in a
if we're
tree,
going in,
lizard.
my rate's going up for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, understood. Right then. How are you fixed for this evening?
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, we could have a little look this evening. Eight
You
silver
think
pieces.
at night? Okay.
Yeah,
It's about an hour's away from here. A little bit less, I guess, if you have a horse. Probably about 30 minutes.
I'll have a horse.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the sun's not down just yet. I'd say we better get a move on quick before it goes fully down.
Hmm.
And get an idea of the place.
And you know this place well, like the back of your hand, yeah?
Uh, I mean, I know it decently. I would say maybe back of my hands is a little bit generous, but yeah, no, I mean I know it more than you. If that's
Yeah,
helpful.
sure.
Mostly it's just a sort of just a stone structure surrounded by a moat, surrounded by a field, pretty much. While the area was cut down, I think years and years ago, so that the moat house had a good view of everything around it. Um,
Hmm.
that's why I usually don't stay around there too much because it's very open. It's very easy to see me. Not many trees to hide behind, that sort of thing. It's a little bit boggy too.
Right, boggy. Well, that's good. I mean, if there's no trees around, then we don't need to get too close, is what I'm thinking.
You yeah. I mean, that works for me. If you don't want to get too close, I'm totally okay with that.
Hmm. So how about I meet you out front in, I don't know what, half an hour? You
Yep,
get your stuff ready and finish your beer.
yep, that works for me. And yep, he just sort of he just slams back his beer and runs off. And about a half hour later, you're waiting for him with your horse. And he comes back. And he says, "Well, so you see, I don't have a horse, but I can either ride with you, or I don't know. You can slow your roll down a little bit, but I think we can still get there pretty fast. If you
Yeah.
don't mind me riding with you."
No, no, no. Carry on. Carry on.
Okay. Yeah, so he just gets on the back of the horse, and you guys head off, and you guys leave Hamlet. Um, okay. And you guys keep riding for about half an hour. And which one is it there? D12. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. So yeah, so it's uneventful getting there. And you walk. You ride down. And I'll see if I can put your character down without fucking everything up. Um. Can you see anything up in the top left at all?
Not a bean.
Not a bean. All right, 1 second. Let me
No.
fix this. And the sun is going down around this point, but you are still able to see decently. How about now?
Oh, yeah, there we go. I can see the corner of a motor house.
Yeah. So you guys came in. He sort of said you guys, instead of going straight up like where like the moat house gate is, you guys should sort of go from the west a little bit. So you're on the sort of west bank.
Yeah.
And you can move your character around if you're like, you guys are pretty up close. There's a few bushes. You stopped your horse, tied it up to the tree, and sort of
Yeah.
have crawled through some bushes. He showed you where some bushes are to sort of hide a little bit. This is as close as I have. You can be further back than it shows you here, obviously.
Yeah.
But you are able to see sort of the outside of this moat house. And from what you can tell, it looks like just a big collapsed old building. It looks very, very ancient, judging by your knowledge of architecture. It looks like it's been around for a while. Most of the roof, from what you can tell, has collapsed inwards on lots of parts.
Yep.
And yeah, and you can move if you are getting closer and you are moving around, like at least doing a recon of it, you can move your character around a bit.
Yep. So just to give a description before I move
Yep.
the thingy around, the idea is that Griff just wants to get a good sort of look around the whole thing. He wants to work out how you can get in, how you can get out, and he's particularly interested in things like tracks and that sort of stuff. So Barry's already mentioned a lizard, so it'd be good to see if there's any lizard tracks.
Yeah.
And again, maybe we'll see some bandits coming in. Maybe there'll be some torches through little thingies in the wall, or so just trying to get some general information about who's there. If they come in, all right, great, as long as they don't see us.
Yeah.
But just to get a rough idea as to what's going on, really. So,
No, that
um,
sounds good to me. Yeah, so if you want to give me, why don't you give me a sneak check if you're going around trying to be sneaky.
yep. Would that be a dexterity based one, I guess?
Yeah, dexterity works. Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Ooh. All
a
right.
terrible 3.
Yeah. So you don't do a great job sneaking, and you keep making your way down south a little bit, as you're sort of just reconnaissancing,
Yep.
and you sort of and also feel free to skip over the water if you've moved any parts. Like it's just it's definitely
Yeah,
shallow enough in certain parts for you to like walk around in,
not
and yeah,
swimming.
and just feel free to keep moving around a little bit here.
Yeah.
And so, you see, like more of this building again, more of this collapse. You see, there is sort of a big tower right over here, that you can tell
Okay.
looks like pretty big. It's not. It's a little bit collapsed on the top there, but it looks like the tower still has, its second story. And yeah. You can move down a little bit further south there if you want, as you sort of are able to try and see where to go in. Because I don't know if your
Yep.
character can from here. Yeah. So you see there, it looks like that's like the main entrance. It looks like the old drawbridge has totally snapped, like the chains are rusted and one snapped down. It's
Hmm.
mostly just like what looks like moldering, rotting boards at this point. Not much else to it, more than anything else. And do you want to give me a notice check?
Yes, I do. Intelligence or
Yeah.
wisdom?
I'd say
I don't
I'd
know what they'd be.
say I'd say either work really. I'm not too worried. I think
Yeah,
wisdom actually probably works. Yeah.
cool. Let's go for that one. And let's see if we can do better than 2 ones with a +1.
Yeah. Ooh,
Ooh,
great.
10.
So, you though you aren't very quiet, you do thankfully notice this before they can, I guess sneak up on you at all. Because you hear these very, very deep rivets coming from over to the right of the gatehouse. Or not gatehouse, sorry, the drawbridge. And you were sort of splashing a little bit too much. Honestly, Bari wasn't much better. He was a little bit better here and there, but overall, as a group, you two were not the most sneaky.
What was the
um,
beer? We're both very good normally, but it was all this
it
bloody
was all
beer,
spear.
these extra
Yeah, you
large
guys are sort of.
beers.
Yeah, you're a little bit buzzed on your little
Yeah,
recon tour here. Yeah.
fuck it, we'll be fine.
um, and the two of you, or at least I'd say you spot first. You see these three giant toads,
Ooh.
just jumping out of this pond over here. They are probably about 20 feet back.
Hmm.
Actually, no, I'd say that's probably like we're not doing the exact scale here, but
Yeah.
I'll say they're probably about from where you are, maybe 40 feet away from you. Because you're able to notice them just as they're sort of like hopping right out, and they're
Yeah.
big. Like they're probably the size of like maybe like a fat cat.
Mm. Have they
And yeah,
noticed us?
we'll go into initiative here.
Ooh.
Yeah, as they look hungry as their sort of big like amphibious
Mm.
eyes stare at you. And yeah, so just
Yeah.
it's a D8 plus your dex versus theirs versus their D8. Oh. Well, all you gotta do is roll a 2.
That should be doable.
Nice. All right, so
Yeah.
you guys go
5.
first. They're 40 feet back. Bari looks to you. He says, what are we doing?"
Um. Well, let's get a couple of arrows off and see what happens. If not, we'll get the horse to, you know, disappear. In
Yep.
fact, where is the horse?
The horse is a little far back. I would say it's
Right.
probably maybe he's obviously off this battle map. But he's probably about
Yeah.
maybe like 2 rounds of full running away.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So if you guys want to fire off your arrows, I will fire off for Bari. Um,
Oh. There we go. That's a crap roll. Oh, that's yours. That's good.
yeah.
I hit AC3. Oh no, that was me. That is a terrible roll.
Yeah, so your arrow goes wide, but holy shit, yeah, Barry was not lying when he said he was a hunter, and he shoots one right in the face, and it just goes down dead immediately. And the other two start hopping towards you guys. Are you moving back at all, or are you staying there? What's your? Because you still have a movement if you want to.
I think we'll move back, anticipating that they're going to move towards us to try and put enough ground between us and them so that hopefully they can't attack this round.
Yep, sounds good. So yeah, so one, so one's dead. Yeah,
Cool.
and you move back enough where they move their full movement, but they're not able to quite reach you. And yeah, so they're still just a ways out from you.
Yep.
And yeah, it's back to you.
And so we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to let rip with the arrows, and then we're going to retreat. And so basically, we're
Yeah, just keep
doing
sort
a
of
kind of
trailing them back.
defended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a military term for that, and I'm sure I don't know what it is. But
I guess you could say kiting.
was better, I think.
Yeah, no, much better. Okay, well, thankfully they are just frogs. And they're not exactly the most quiet of creatures, so you guys are able to see them. And now you guys just fired off both your arrows. You get a perfect crack shot on one of them, and it also dies. And Bari shoots the other one, and that one goes down as well. And all three are just sort of dead. You have these 3 big dead toad bodies just lying there in front of the gatehouse.
Yep.
Their ribbits now silenced. You still do hear ribbits calling out here and there around the moat house, but they sound more normal and less deep and kind of scary, like the ones that are coming out of these ones.
So Griff will go to Bari. Well, that was unexpected, but good work, he says.
Yeah, well, thankfully that they were not the sparse of creatures. What do you want to do now, boss?
Well, let's see if anybody's noticed us. So he's going to see if I don't know these toads have drawn any attention. I guess we've not been screaming or shouting. We've just been firing.
Yeah, you just fired
quiet
off some
foes.
arrows. Yeah, the last thing there was the ribbits of these big toads. Yeah, if you want to give me a notice check, you can.
So hopefully we're still. That was rubbish. That's a
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, no, you don't nope. You don't notice anything or anybody that might have spotted you. But you are aware that you were pretty quiet
Yeah.
um in all this.
And the toads don't look like they're wearing tunics full of treasure or anything, I
Yeah,
guess.
no.
No, no.
Yeah, no, you cover their bellies and they're full of 700 silver
Yeah.
each. Yeah.
Rats. Cool. So we're gonna probably take a slightly wider berth around the bottom of the moat house to
Yep.
avoid any more toads that might be there.
Sounds
Um,
good.
and yeah, we're gonna just see if we can see tracks going in and out,
Yeah.
whether there's any horse hooves or, bandits, lizards,
Perfect. So yeah, I will say
dragons.
this. You definitely notice. So around the moat house, if you want to move your character around like in a square, if you want to get
Yeah.
the whole idea of outside the moat house, you can just do that. This
Okay,
won't
cool.
matter too much. Because this is yeah. You've you don't notice much, I guess, foot traffic around the moat house, but when you do pass by the dead toads, if you check them over to see anything interesting about them or anything else and looking around, you do notice that there was a lot of foot traffic going
Okay.
through like past you and onto the like inside the moat house. It seems like you see different footprints,
Yeah.
both human. You see footprints of creatures too. Some footprints you don't recognize at all, but it definitely looks like there's been a decent amount of movement going through here.
Well, Barry, yes, I certainly don't think we want to overstay our welcome. I think we should be heading back. So they're just looking around the.
Yeah, and yeah, Barry now just has his bow out fully, has a arrow knocked, is always just watching your backs as you guys are just sort of going around, trying to be as sneaky as possible, and just sort of stealthing through. Thankfully, going through, you don't meet anything else.
Yeah,
Actually, gotta do a quick roll here. Yeah, no, you
cool.
guys don't meet anything else. As you sort of get the whole perimeter of it, and everything you said seems correct. It seems like most of the land around's been cleared. A lot of it's very marshy and boggy, so it's a little bit hard to walk through. You are like your boots are getting pretty wet, squishing through there,
Yeah.
and it does seem to be a pretty hard to traverse area, and also not much cover if anybody is looking for you or did try and find out what the sounds were of the battle. But
Hmm.
thankfully, it seems to be like nobody's coming out after you or anything like that. So
Well then, Barry, I'd call that a good evening's work.
yeah, he says, I mean, that's a pretty easy 9 silver for me, or sorry, 8 silver.
8 silver, 1 beer. Yes.
I think it. Yeah, but if you don't want to do anything else here, I would not mind heading back to town.
No,
It's
I
getting pretty
mean,
dark.
well, let's just I don't know, let's spend another 10 minutes or so and just watch the drawbridge, see if we can hear anything or see anything, and then we can disappear off.
Okay, so all right. Yeah, and you sort of hang back a bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a sneak roll? Okay.
Yeah. We're just, yeah, again, if there's like a caravan of bandits or something that comes in, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'm just imagining you're sort of stealthing behind there. Perfect. Yeah, no, great
That's
job.
11.
Yeah, no, you guys get yourselves perfectly just put in the
Yeah.
shrubbery, and you are just sort of watching for anything. And I will say, though you don't see anything, you do hear a cacophony of laughter come from
Okay.
inside the building. It sounds like a few different men.
Well, Barry, I can hear quite a few of them. So, yes, I think we should head back, and if we come again, it should be with reinforcements.
Yeah, that works. That works fine for me, boss. And he's already walking back towards the horse, like as you're saying, like, all right. I think he is. He's already know what you were to say, so he just started
Yeah.
already going. And he seems very very on edge. And
Cool.
yeah, you guys head back to the horse. And you guys get back on it. You guys get back onto the road. And make your way back into town as the sun is now fully down. And you were greeted by the village of Hamlet. With yeah, just a few lights here and there. Most people are either at the tavern or clocking out for the night. Yeah.
Perfect. So if the tavern is not busy, Griff will thank Bari and go to bed.
Sounds good.
And if the tavern is it busy?
Yeah, the tavern's decently busy. Yeah,
Oh,
there's quite
still
a few
busy.
people left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Griff's going to buy another beer then in that case, and a plate of food, and he's going to have a loud conversation with Osler. And yeah, just mention that he's been to the moat house and there's some bandits to clear out, and he just wants people to hear him. And if anyone's interested in any new work, then maybe they'll see fit to say hello.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so you say that. Um, and you were having this sort of loud conversation, very much sort of talking almost to the room a little bit too. And this guy saunters over. He obviously has had quite a few. And he just puts a big hand on your shoulder and he says, so you've been out to the moat house, huh? How would you like some company with you next time you go out there? My
Well,
name's Elmo.
Elmo, yeah, somebody mentioned you. Said you were an excellent warrior.
Yeah, I think it might have been Osler might have mentioned it. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Osler
Okay.
who says, "Yeah, this is the guy I was talking about." And he says,
Ah,
"Yeah, my rate is 5% of all treasure found, and I don't charge anything up front per day or anything like that. Um,
okay. Um,
and I have my own
pay,
gear, and I can take care of myself."
pay by results. You're a man after my own heart.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can either beg for scraps and some of these other guys looking for 10 silver pieces, or I can
Hmm.
show you how it's done, cleave a few creatures, take some good gold back, and yeah, we'll be happy. I think from what I tell, you seem like a pretty decent guy. From compared to some of the other guys who come around here. And he sort of looks over towards what look like sort of three. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say like they look evil or anything, but definitely like some rough-looking men. They've seen a few
Yeah.
battles. They got scars. They're definitely not from town. And they kind of just send back some glares towards Elmo. And he just sort of Elmo, while he's looking at them, just orders another beer and just sort of keeps drinking. And he says, "Yeah, I can protect you. So,
Ah, that's
what do you
good.
think?"
Well, yeah, no, sounds like a deal. You can ask Barry, and he'll tell you that. Yes, I certainly get involved in the fights, and I don't ask anything of my freelancers that I wouldn't be prepared to do myself.
Perfect. You sound like my kind of boss.
And he'll be with us again tomorrow, I hope. So, if anything was that bad, he wouldn't be with us. So, mm,
Yeah, we'll say that Bari agreed to join you again, but
yeah,
he did say that if you guys are going to the moat house, that like he will ask for 10 silver
then,
apiece. Um,
yeah. Well, how much was the food, by the way? I'm keeping my accounting log
oh,
here.
the food, we'll just say was yeah, we'll say 2 silver pieces.
Yeah, okay.
So imagine just a nice just bowl of stew with mashed potatoes and that sort of thing. Very
Yeah.
hearty food. Nothing amazing, but it'll keep your tummy full.
So Griff is going to joke to Elmo and say, well, yes, we've. I hope we can find something in that old moat house. Eating here, I'll be broke within a week.
Yeah, so prices have gone up recently, and you've noticed as you guys have been talking that Elmo's been paying significantly less for his beer than you have, as you notice that there's a
Mm,
few bits of change that he's been putting out that he's been getting the same amount as you. Though obviously it also seems like Elmo and Ostler are on pretty good terms.
yeah.
And he says, and if you need anybody else, I can round up a few men with spears for you if you want to go out tomorrow.
Well,
Um,
it was funny you should say that. That was my next question for you. Anyone else who's reliable? Anybody sort of motivated to do well for the village? None of these. And he points over vaguely, but
yeah,
not
not
definitely
too
at
much
anybody.
like yeah, you don't want to
Yeah,
start a bar
him.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
um yeah, he says yeah, there's a few guys who are part of the militia. They're the farmer boys. I know 3 of them.
Hmm.
They'll all be able to join us pretty well. They all have their own weapons and all that sort of thing. And they're not quite as skilled as me or quite as experienced, so I'd like usual rate. I'm sure you've heard a bunch of times now. 10 silver apiece for each of
And
them.
Silver.
And
Um,
well,
what about this chap called Alan? He seems keen enough, but I'd hate to put somebody with not much experience in the line of fire.
oh, Alan came up to you, huh?
Hmm. Earlier on today.
Hmm. All right.
You know him?
He's yeah, no, he's just bit of a younger guy. His mom wouldn't really appreciate him going out, but I'm not his dad. If he wants to go out and prove himself, I mean, we all gotta start somewhere. Yeah, he's a pretty strong lad. He works the farm a lot, so he should be able to at least get some good work out of him. If anything, he'll be a good guy to carry everything we find.
Well, perhaps we can use Alan, and he can be our well work experience chap. It's always good to give back to the community, isn't it?
Yeah. Though I will say, just so you know, because this is something that some adventurers here have not really seemed to get. Try and take care of anybody you work with. You let too many people, bite the dust, and the only people who come with you are probably from Nulb, and even then, those guys will
Mm.
probably stab you in the back as soon as you leave town and take everything you have on you. So, yeah.
Well,
So I
I'm
would
sure
say
we
if
can
we
be
do
very
take
careful.
if we do take Alan, I'd say again you'll be the boss here, so I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I would say try and keep him out of battle, I guess, or at least until he gets a little bit more experience.
Mm. Well, we're going to need someone to look after the horse and look out, for anything coming from the rear. So yes, I take your point.
Perfect. So we have tomorrow.
I think we should. Would you mind? I don't know. I mean, you seem like a very capable kind of chap. You could be my I don't know, lieutenant.
I like that, Lieutenant. That sounds good. Lieutenant
Yes. Could
Elmo.
you could you round them all up and Alan as well? Tell him he's got a place on the party and that we'll give him some duties, but nothing too heavy.
Perfect. So the three men plus Alan. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will meet you first thing tomorrow morning, just outside the tavern.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do tonight, Martin?
Hang on a minute. Just cough a bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think that's it.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. So
Yeah.
you head off for the night. Um, and yeah, it's a decent enough place. It's a very small room. Nothing too lavish for a town like this. It's just basically just a cot and a little bedside
Yep.
table, and that's pretty much everything. There's a trunk there for any of your stuff you want put in there.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a pretty uneventful night. You just sleep well, and you get back tomorrow. You get up the next morning, grab some food, and Elmo, Alan, and three men are all there. You can tell it looks like Alan is wearing probably either an older brother or father's armor, as it looks like it's a little bit too big for him around the
Yeah.
shoulders. But it looks like he has his own spear with him, which he looks like he's trying to get a good handle on. The other guys all look pretty competent for what they are. And Elmo there is wielding a big battle axe, just sort of slung over his back. And he says, "All right, you good to go?"
Yes. Yes. Already. Everybody here well fed and
Yeah, we've. I mean, Alan's been up since about 3 in the morning, just excited once I told him. So I know he's just been ready to go. And Alan's like, "Yeah, I get. My first adventure. I can't wait to slay some evil." And
yes. Well,
yeah, and Elmo kind of looks at you and looks back at him, and then just sort of doesn't say much, but kind of just shakes his head and gives a little smile.
Elmo's explained that everybody has their place in this party, and somebody needs to be up front, somebody needs to be in the middle, and somebody needs to be in the rear. And depending on our skills and talents, we may be in different places, and maybe we'll be in the same place. But as long as you do what Elmo tells you, it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, whatever you want, boss. I'll
Hmm.
do whatever you say. I'm willing to learn, and I'll prove to you that I can do whatever you need me to.
Yes, well, it's important that you play your part in a team, and everybody does their own thing. We don't need any heroes here. He's sort of being slightly patronizing.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like it doesn't phase Alan at all. He's like, yes, of course.
Mm.
I won't. I won't let you down.
A well-oiled machine. That's what we are.
And yeah. So you guys start to head off. Unless there's anything you want to do in town before you leave. Is there anything you want to buy or talk to anybody or?
So yeah, I think Griff is gonna. So just on the way out, we'll swing past the tower. Griff will ask everybody to wait outside, and he will see if he can get another audience with Rufus again.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes you about another maybe 15 minutes or so, and but Rufus, the guard brings you into Rufus's chamber. Rufus looks like he still has a bit of bad head. He's like, what can I do for you today?
Good morning. Well, as promised, and he brings out a little map of the moat house that he made on some a little bit of parchment he had, and says, "Look, we've been to the moat house yesterday evening. We conducted our reconnaissance, and the place is yes, looks like it's heavily armed. So I'm going to take a small party out this morning. And can I get some additional support from you, and maybe another guard or something?"
Um, yeah, if you need an extra person, he sort of looks
Hmm.
out. He kind of like opens up like the. Actually, there's not a window there. He just looks out the tower window. Basically just like a portal. He sees who you have. He's like, oh, you got Elmo there. Okay, yeah, he'll take care of you. He's a good fighter. Um, yeah. Do you need somebody who can fight? You know the charge. I guess no. I guess I'll be nice. I'll send out one of our younger guys with you. He needs a little bit of experience. I'll give him to you no charge since you obviously
Ah,
prove that you
perfect.
are a man of your word of actually trying to figure stuff out. Um, yeah, and he calls out and he says, "Eidos, get in here." And this another sort of young man comes in. He has this sort of like straw blonde hair, and he says, "Yes, sir." And Rufus just lets him know, "Yep, you'll be working with this guy today. You might be working with him for the rest of the week, and then you'll be back on your regular duties. Don't let him down. We've had a chat. Griff will let me know of your performance, so be on your best behavior and do what he says, and be sure to listen to Elmo as well if he tells you anything." And he sort of gives him like a salute, and he looks to you, and says, "Yes, sir. I'll help you out, sir."
Yes, thank you. It's good to have you on the team. If you report to Elmo, he's dealing with all of our command and personnel matters.
"Yes, sir." And he marches out very very ceremonially as he leaves the tower and goes towards the group. Gets his gear together and runs off towards them.
And you'll notice Griff is taking very much of a kind of more leadership kind of stance in his approach now. He's a bit more forward, so yeah, he changes as the situation needs it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you come back
So,
out, and he's there with the group, and almost says, "All right, we got another one. Perfect. The more, the
mm,
merrier." Um,
well, on our way then.
Absolutely. Let's go. Um, Okay. Yep. So you guys make it there. Obviously, as a party, you move in a little bit slower, but it only takes, like I said, about 40 minutes or so, maybe an hour. And you make it back to the moat house. And you're just sort of like, you're just sort of back a bit. You're not right up front like you are here, but you're
Mm.
this way, but like you're further back just a little bit. And he says, "All right. So, boss, what's the plan?" Elmo says.
Well, if you and the party want to hang back, they're just behind that tree line there, and there
Yeah.
must be something for them to hide. But I'm gonna go and just take a look and see what's beyond that drawbridge, and and he's gonna try and find some yeah, bric-a-brac knickknacks that he's got, maybe like an old cloak and a bundle of sticks that he's tied together,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some, I don't know, little wood carving or something, some crap, and some nice stones. So these are stones that he's found on the ground. They're particularly round, and well, they've got some funny colors in them or something, and he's going to put them in a little bag. So he's just got some basically worthless tat,
Yeah.
and uh, and he's going to approach the drawbridge.
Okay. Yeah. Are you sneaking at all, or are you just walking up?
No, just walking up.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you can move your character up to the drawbridge there.
So he doesn't have anything of value on him. It's just this worthless tat.
Yeah, it's just meant to be sort of a bit of a decoy bag of like
Yeah.
treasure. I'm assuming. Yeah. So you go towards there. Um, let's see. So You go past the drawbridge there, and you just see basically there's still sort of gates here. They're sort of hanging off of their hinges. They're very old, so the drawbridge is fully down. Your feet almost go through the boards. You could tell that if you had
Mm.
gone in here with a horse, the horse most definitely would have probably gone through or even broken a leg. Um, and you just sort of peek inside, and it looks like as you confirmed earlier, there's loads of boot prints going through here. And but this room itself seems empty. You can move your character up a little bit if you want. It seems like this is sort of like a big kind of courtyard kind of area, and you can
Okay.
see that there's a sort of open door up those steps. Um,
So does it look like there's a door? Can you see if there's a door there, or is it just a
it looks
doorway
like
with
the
no
door is
door?
like shattered, like it's
Right.
an old door that's rotted off and shattered, probably during the attack that you heard about like many
Yeah.
years ago of this place. Whatever took this place down. So you can actually see inside there a little bit from here.
And does this look like the only way in and out of the rest of the moat house?
From what you went all the way around and you could not see any other way in. And it looks like most of the roof of the moat house is pretty much collapsed. So it's not like
Yeah.
anybody can probably get up top and jump off the side or anything like
Okay.
that. It seems like this is the one route in and out. That's at least
So
easy.
there's no doors in the walls that we can see there. It's just that door up the
It's just
steps.
that door there. Yeah, you see a few windows on the walls to your left and right,
Yeah.
here and here, but you can't really see through them. They're a little bit too high, and they're also
Yeah.
kind of like a lot of them look kind of, I guess, maybe crumbled a little bit or broken. So yeah.
Perfect. So, he will go back out and tell the party what he's seen and suggest that what we might want to do is all go in rather quietly
hmm
and sneak up. Um, so Griff's plan is to
Oh,
go through the.
one thing too. Sorry,
Mm,
Myra, I just realized I
oh,
forgot. There's also right behind where your character is. There's also a door to the tower. I totally forgot about.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, go ahead.
Does it look like the tower's joined up? So I mean, he's not going to know, but does it look like, based on what he's seen, that somebody through the main? I'm having a terrible job of explaining this. Through the main doorway, does he think that people could maybe somehow get round the outside of the tower and sort of appear through the tower door?
Um,
Does that make any
I
sense?
think I think it could be. I would say you could possibly gather that that wall next to it, there could be a passageway through that wall into the tower.
Right. Okay.
But from going outside, it looks like the only real way into the tower that you can see of obviously is through this door
Yeah.
here just behind you on the first floor. And considering most of like that wall right to your left is
Yeah.
pretty heavily collapsed, if there is a passage there, there's a very low chance that anybody could actually squeeze through.
Yeah.
So from what you could gather, that door you see is probably the only way into the tower.
So before he goes out, he's going to. Is the door to the tower open?
No, the door to the tower is closed. It looks
Okay. So
old and rotting, but it's definitely closed. Yeah.
does it look like it's been open for a while?
Hmm.
Or can't tell.
From what you can tell, it looks like most of the, I guess, the traffic and footsteps kind of, no, I wouldn't say avoid that area, but they seem to really go back and forth up through that broken door to your
Yeah.
right, and go back. It seems like that door has been kind of left alone. There's
Cool.
not like any
Okay.
muddy footprints or anything like that that you can see.
So Griff's plan is to go back to the group, maybe sketch on the ground with a stick,
hmm
the inside of the moat house,
Yep.
explain what he's seen, and he's going to explain that he's going to go up the stairs and through the door. He's
Okay.
going to pretend to be selling some wares, which is this tat that he's got on him. But that everybody else is to basically flank the door so that if there's trouble and he's got to come out, they'll think that it's just him, and then they can all kind of pile on.
Okay. So, basically, you want them? Do you want them to be like on the outside, like right over here, like this part?
Yeah,
Okay. So they're all
that's
hiding
it.
on both sides. Okay. Sounds
So
good.
hopefully they'll get surprise on them if there's anybody that comes out. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, Griff will try and sort of lead them or go in and possibly negotiate. And when he gets kicked out, hopefully one or two of them might come out and they can pick him off.
Yep. No, that works. That sounds great, Martin.
Cool.
So yeah, you if you want to just move your character in there, they listen to you and they go like, okay, that's it's pretty risky, but you know what? Elmo says, I respect that you're putting yourself out there. So yeah, we'll hold up out here. Um, I think I can remember. I believe it looks like Elmo has the axe. The three guys have spears.
Yep.
Alan has a spear, and Bari has a bow. So that's what you're dealing with here. So they all sort of hold up there, just on that side of that side, and you're just in the doorway there. What do you want to do now?
Ooh, so what we'll probably do is put Bari where number 3 is.
Okay, yeah. So it's just sort of in the back a bit.
Yeah, so assuming you could reach the
Yes, yeah,
doorway with the arrows, yeah.
yeah. He'll stay in the courtyard, but be
Um,
back enough so he can aim
yeah.
through if you need to.
And we'll put Alan next to him to watch the rear over the drawbridge.
Okay.
So we got Alan and Bari and the other 5.
Is
Yeah, quite
it
a party.
4, isn't it? Because it's 3 guys plus Elmo, and then you have Alan
Uh,
and Bari. Oh no,
and there
and
was
also I forgot about I
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about Eidos. Yeah, so Eidos is there as well. Yeah,
yes.
you're right. Yeah,
So
I
as
gotta
soon
start
as
writing everybody down
yeah,
for who
yeah.
you have, so I don't get lost. But yeah, so that sounds good to me. Eidos is there, 3 guys, and Elmo.
We better find some treasure soon because Griff is almost broke.
Yeah, this is starting to eat through you a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Okay, and perfect. Yeah, so they're there. They're holed up and they're waiting. And yeah, and Eidos also has a spear as well. And yeah, what's your plan now? What do you want to do?
So Griff, I mean, he's looking for trade after all. He's not sneaking around, so he's just going to walk as bold as brass through the doorway.
Yeah. Yeah, so you walk right into the doorway. You can put yourself into that room there. From what you can tell, this looks like an old great hall. There's just destroyed furniture, tattered banners, and tapestries on the walls, and heaps of rotting cloth thrown into corners. That shows this probably was once like a really great sort of audience chamber for a moat house. It's actually pretty kind of impressive, but time has not been kind to this poor room, and it's pretty much a complete ruin.
So he's going to call out, good morning, good morning. And he's going to take his bag of rocks and jaggle it about.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you say that, and you see that there's that door, because you see there's a hall to the south of you. There is a hall to the left, and there's a door to the north.
Okay.
You hear movement from that door to the north. Um, and
Griff's glorious goods.
and you hear some people talking. Let's see here. I'll open that door. You hear some
I've
people
got
talking
some.
amongst each other. And then out of that door, oops, that's the wrong one. You see, oops, 1 second. You see those guys come out, and these guys come out, and it looks like there's more guys inside as well. Oops. Looks like this guy comes out, and I'll move these two within range. So first, you can tell there's a few more men in that room. It seems like they're pretty tightly packed in there. But you see what looks like a bunch of brigands in a mishmash of different armor. They got crossbows on their backs. Some of them have daggers or swords or clubs. And you see, obviously, one guy who's much bigger than the rest of them. He's got a big crossbow on his back that he's just sort of taken off. He looks more well dressed than the others, though not by much. They all look like they've have pretty rough living. And he speaks while they're all sort of silently watching you. He says, "Who are you?"
Griff's glorious goods. I've got some not very precious stones. I've got some, well, rag. It's useful for mopping up wounds. It's useful for cleaning plates. I've got a bundle of sticks, excellent for lighting fires. You've only got to leave it for another 4 months for it to dry out, and then it'll do you proud. It will. Can I interest you in any of my goods?
And he stares at you, and some of the others kind of look at each other, and you hear one of them go like, "This guy's fucking crazy. What's he doing here?" And like this rumble amongst each other, and the guy just tells him the bigger guy tells him to shut up, and says, I don't know what your deal is, but What's to stop me just from taking anything you have?
You look like and he starts sort of blinking and twitching his head a bit to taking his cue from the other one. Um, well, you've been doing an old man a great favor, Griff's glorious goods. I'm sure that you, man of your wealth, wouldn't need to steal from somebody like me. And he twitches his eye. And,
um, he kind of looks you up and down and he says, "Are you alone?"
I'm Griff. Pleased to meet you.
Oh God, this guy's got a few screws loose. And he says, he's what? I love
I
this.
got some chickens outside, but they wouldn't come across the drawbridge.
You hear a few of the muttering. He says, "Man, this guy's actually got anything. Maybe it's worth it." And they mutter again amongst each other. He once again tells them to shut up. And he says, "Listen, you. I don't buy anything from anybody. I take what I want. So I'll give you a deal. You leave everything with us. You drop everything. Just take off everything you got, any bags you have behind you there, anything like that, and I'll let you live. How's that sound? How's that for a deal?"
It doesn't sound like a very good deal to me. How about what about the chickens?
"I don't need any damn chickens. Whatever, men, just kill him." And they take out their
Whoa.
crossbows. And he just aims his crossbow right at you, and he fires it. It fires a shot. And that's where we'll end off the session today, Martin.
Oh. Cool.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting situation. I'll get some tokens down for the next session for everybody in case this gets into a pretty
Cool.
big battle for all the different characters, so we can sort of keep track of where people want to be, where you get them orders and that sort of thing.
Excellent.
You're just there frozen in space as this crossbow bolt's just coming towards you. But awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. This was
Excellent. Well, no, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
yeah, I know. I'm excited to see. I really do hope you find some treasure soon, so you can keep paying these men. And
Well, it's soon building up. So I've
yeah.
my records are good. So we've got so far there is. Sorry, this is the boring accounting
No,
bit
it's
of
all
the
good.
stream.
Go ahead.
We've got 1 silver piece for a beer, 7 silver pieces for a week's worth of room rental. We have the horse. So this will be the second day of the horse. So that's the 50 silver pieces deposit and the second lot of 30 silver pieces. There was the healing potion at 50 silver pieces, 2 beers, another beer for Bari, some food, and another beer when we got back. And yep, 3 farmers, 30 silver pieces total, 5 silver pieces for Alan. And fortunately, we haven't got anything yet, so we don't owe
Yeah,
Elmo anything.
we have
right
just started the
now,
dungeon
but
at least, so I'm sure you'll
yeah.
find something if you survive this next encounter, which is gonna be interesting to see what happens here because
Yeah.
this might get rough.
I'm
But
seeing more
you
than
have a good
5
group.
tokens there.
Yeah, you got a pretty good group at least. So you might be okay with some some smart plays, and they are people. But yeah, no, and I think also for next time, one thing I should have done for this first session is I'll get a cheat sheet of everybody in town because
Yeah.
I thought it was laid out where just wherever they are, it says them, but it's not. So I must have just when you're reading it, you're like, oh, this is the name of this guy, and then when it comes up, I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, what the fuck was the name of that guy again? But no, that was very fun. I'm excited to play more of this and see where things end up. And as we learn the system together and figure out
All
how
good so
long
far.
this character will last, I think we'll definitely get you to roll up a backup character between
Yeah.
this session and next. Anyway,
I wonder
thank you
why.
for anybody who stopped by. The sessions from here on out will probably be between 2 to 3 hours for most of it. We're not going to be doing super long ones because it's just me and Marn. There's not necessarily a lot of breathing room for Marn to, let somebody else take the reins for a bit. So we'll probably be on these sort of levels. But I am excited to see more, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. And for anybody who's coming in late who wants to see it, this will be up on both the podcast and the YouTube channel in the next few days. And yeah, thank you so much. And thanks a lot, Martin. I'm excited for this.
Great stuff. Cheers, guys.
See you guys.